Boom! What up, everybody? It's me, again, back at it with another banger, continuing the series. And my name is Ronaldo Zaimi, and I'm here to present you with the song number 7. I don't remember. It is after Birth of Star. It is called Orange Sunshine, and we are continuing the reaction videos from the first album. I think I'm going to do the second, the third. I don't know. But this one I have to finish it for sure. I have to finish it, motherfucker. Motherfucker. Boom.
Midnight love, party, after party, party, after party. Madness mixed with sadness, sadness mixed with madness. This the most dangerous combination to poison my love life, love life,
Love like it was yesterday. Remember half of my mistakes. Ask for an apology, cause I gave birth to them falsely. Right now, I'm not feeling so guilty, and you shouldn't either, baby. Hold up. So, I wanna make something clear. So this song, you can clearly hear that in a way it is from the last songs in a way, and it is more of a ballad, you know. And when I was creating the album, I was like, okay, so you get that spike up, and then you have like to come down, but to come down, you know, like relax little by little. I think there is also a song before that, Half of My. I have like to react to it also. Wait, so this one, it is, if we wanna say that there's in the story. So this song is tied up with the song Heal Me, and the story from the song Heal Me, again in this album. Okay, these are two together. Orange Sunshine and Heal Me are together, and the Heal Me, the song Heal Me talked about that night where I met that girl. You know, while I was on the plane to America, right? I was like, hi, lonely, sexy dancer. And this one is like the after party, in a way, the aftermath. It was not our fault. And I will tell you. Find me a place to hide away inside your imagination. Man, I can't believe it. I still remember the lyrics because from all these songs, because it took me like 8 years to create these songs. I was writing and rewriting and perfecting the verse, perfecting this, perfecting that. I thought I had like so much time, and in fact I didn't have time at all, and time passed by, and I was still in my imaginary prison, still stuck on the past, and I'm now reacting to me getting stuck in the past. To the stories from the past. But people, you do not understand the fact that I had, first of all, to translate all what happened, to translate it from Greek, because like my mind, because I grew up in Greece, right? So my mind, my processors, right here, everything, the language, the programming language of my brain, it was, and still in a way, it was all in Greek. You know, like this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. Αυτό έγινε, εκείνο έγινε, αυτό, εκείνο. Did you understand what I said? No, because it's in Greek. So I had to translate everything in English, right? In order for me to present it to you, right? And that took me a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I wasn't anticipating all that time and effort, right? Let's go. I'm feeling safe. Baby, forget about our dreams, let them fall apart. Cause you can do nothing but to crash. That's why I moved on up towards my destination. Thank you for the sweetest night of my life. Now that I'm feeling this romantic vibration, I'll confess to you that you are the best the best I ever had. It's so sad that you won't get in a relationship with my orange sunshine. Cause I replaced it with neon lights that exist from the electronic waves of your whole love and emotion, baby. No, never. So, this girl right here, right, and the girl from the Heal Me, that I was like, if you haven't watched that, you should go back there to get the story. That I was like, I just died in your arms tonight. Well, that girl, right? I haven't met. We are talking about Constantino, right? And that person back then. I hadn't met in my life up until that time a girl like her, and I seriously never thought that a girl like her would exist. Right? Why? I will tell you why. Because the girls that I knew up until that moment of my life, first of all, none of them were potheads. So this girl was like a pothead, right? She was right, one. But and why I say that, I will tell you why I say that. And two, this one is a great thing that she had, and that's why like she was like very different from these other girls that I was messing up at that time. The way that she, first of all, she was like beautiful girl, like beautiful face. I said yesterday about Bertha, she had that Asian beauty, and the love of my life, she had that Latina kind of thing. She didn't have none of that. Like she was like just a regular white girl beauty, right? She didn't look like neither Latina, neither Asian. She didn't look like a black girl, which I love black girls. But nothing, right? Just a regular white girl. And I think her name, no, I think I know her name. It was Annie. Annie, are you okay? Okay, let's call her Annie, are you okay? Right? From the song Smooth Criminal. Because I remember I sent her that song one day. I don't remember. So, Annie, are you okay? So, Annie, are you okay? Was like, and someone might say like, I think that some of you might say that Bertha Star was inspired by Billie Jean in a way, and I was living in the shadow of Michael Jackson. Well, at that time, I was studying a lot Michael Jackson. A lot. I'm gonna cry, man. I'm gonna cry because I was setting up the bar so high. And I was studying Thriller so much. And I wanted Constantino to become like the next Thriller. But I later found out what marketing is. So, and maybe I didn't have the experience to create a Thriller. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm sitting in a genius album and the world just made me believe that it was a flop or something like that. I don't know. But I'm moving forward. I'm going to create something even way better. Never mind. So, Annie, are you okay? Okay, Annie, are you okay? As we said, she was a pothead, right? Which was a negative thing for me at that time. Why? Because I wanted to cut it off, right? So I said, like in college, because I dropped out at that time, after the love of my life broke my heart, right? I started like getting high every day. And I was doing it, a part of me was doing because I don't know, because I felt like so bad. Another part of me, I was doing it because of the rock style, lifestyle, whatever the fuck that was. Another part of me was doing it because my friends at that time in the band, Red Hot Chili Peppers, I will talk about them, these geniuses that I'm so grateful that I've met them in my life, because they woke up the musician in me. Red Hot Chili Peppers, can't stop addicted to the shindig. Drop that and say I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant got the reservation. Um, these guys, the cover band, we were all smoking it, right? But the time that I met Annie Ariuoke, it was a long time. I had already been like a pothead for a year, right? The second year that I didn't even set a single foot in the college, right? In the university. So I met her that night, right? And I got the number, I got the Facebook, whatever the fuck that was. And we were about like to meet up again and all that stuff. But at that time, it was the moment that a part of me wanted like to leave, and I was like in the studio. The guys like they had like a studio there. I wanted like to pay them. I gave one of the guys like the money to also put the rent in. Like I felt like I was like a band member. He was like, no way. It is just the three of us. A lot of tracks were happening at the time. I wanted to be in the band. Some days they didn't want me to be in the band. Other days they did. I was talking a lot about America. Then I got angry with them when they told me like pack your bags and go back. Because I said to them, you know what? I can sleep like in the studio. I don't care, man. Like let's work, let's do it, let's go. Like let's live for America, man. Like we can do it. And you know, after years, I stopped judging those guys, right? Because I realized how hard it was. I realized how mentally draining it was, this whole thing with the music, kind of the music industry, even though I wasn't in the music industry, but me working towards it, the pressure, let's make a great album, let's make great music, listen to this, listen to that, work, pressure. So I realized that they were kind of right, and their approach was right, and I was just an asshole. And being again, as I said to you, being this, just because you have talent, you have to become like extremely famous, and let's all write history together. But people, just because somebody has a talent, a great talent, I'm talking to you. It's not just because of nostalgia, right? I say it how it is to be said in life, right? I don't care whoever like gets offended or something like that. But these guys, like the band that I was, right, that I was playing with, my friends, because first they were my friends and then they become kind of my fellow band members, but they were at the level of Peppers, Red Hot Chili Peppers level. And if you know about Red Hot Chili Peppers, you know that right now they are like the greatest musicians in the pop, rock, funk kind of, you know. Like they are like A-list musicians in the world. And at the same time, not only they are A-list, but they are like famous, like, right? Because you might be a great musician and play all the jazz stuff and I don't know, like whatever, but to be able like to make beautiful music and at the same time be an extraordinary musician, right? Because Fleas, like great, Chad, right? John, right? Frusciante, exceptional. The Empyrean and his solo career at the same time. And to be and Anthony, of course. Can't stop addicted to the same thing. Also, Anthony Kidd is a great frontman, one of the greatest frontmen in the earth and in the history of music. And I will talk about Anthony in another day, and why Anthony is so underrated. because Anthony doesn't know like about music, right? He cannot play the guitar, or he can play the keys. So a lot of people, they might say, oh, like he is inferior from the other members and all that stuff, just because he doesn't know like G, A minor, to this, to that. But he's like extremely great, and especially like the way that he positions his voice and what he writes. If you understand, if you read, if you understand the English properly, right, you will realize that the way that Anthony writes and what he says there, like it is so poetic, and it is his metaphors and all that is like so beautiful. It took me like years to realize how great Anthony Kiedis was actually, and still is, right? Anthony, off, right? So, um, so as I said, like that time I met this girl, right, at that night. Annie, are you okay? Right. So I left. They kicked me out. I left. It was both. And I went like back to Alexandria. But now I was like, okay, so these guys, even though I was like extremely angry, I was like, fuck, man, like these guys, like they were so good, man. We could have easily been in America in 2-3 years with extremely hard work. So I have like to find a way like to go to America. So my first thought in the beginning was like, you know what? Another cousin, a cousin of my friend, who gave me like the movies, right? The old boyfriend of Bertha. He told me about Skrillex and Deadmau5 and all these DJs like who make like music with a laptop, and I was like, yeah, man, I remember I used to listen like to Skrillex like when I was like 15 years old, 16 years old, and I was like, wow, and I started like revisiting the Skrillex and Deadmau5 and all these guys and Ableton at that time, and I was like, wow, you can make like music with with just a computer. I didn't know like you had to have like staff, sound cards, and all that. I thought, oh, with just a laptop, I can do everything. Um, and I was like, okay, I'm going to. This is my ticket to America, right? This is the way. Like I'm going to learn producing, mixing, mastering, and I'm going like to EDM and DJ it alone and all that stuff, and I can do that alone, right? And it was like I was like closer, like because before I was like, okay, I'm going to become like a writer director, but how can I make a movie? Like I tried to make a movie and it sucked and all that stuff. It wasn't good. It took it. You needed a lot of money, actors, etc., etc., etc. Right? Then the band came, and that night, and I said, okay, let's go. Like, and I was like working and how you say it, and I was like singing so good, and even like the drummer who kicked me out started like giving me the props finally, and I was like yeah, man, like. And then they kicked me out, right? I left, and they kicked me out. Then I left. It was both. I don't wanna play the victim, right? We were all high as a kite, and in the bus station, the cousin of my friend, right? He told me about Skrillex and all these guys, and I'm like, I came back and I said to myself, you know what? There is a chance for me, because I started realizing that I have a talent for music, right? Even though I was like so scared to make music, to get involved with music, but after like that lonely sexy dancer trip, something like inside me like started saying like music, 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 music. It's the way. And then I found out about like Skrillex and Deadmau5 and Ableton and all that stuff, and I started saying like, okay, I can learn, right? And this song is about that moment. But now there is Any Are You Okay in Thessaloniki, right? And I said to myself, you know what? I have like to cut off everything to get clean, right? To become sober from weed and all that stuff, right? And all these other like things, whatever, like we were taking all these stupid pills, whatever, like they were like giving us headache stuff, all that BS, right? And I'm like, there is something, right? I dropped out of college. I messed up with my life. There is nothing for me anymore. And this was like the time that I said, you know what? I am cutting off everything and everybody, right? I'm getting sober because at that time, all my friends, they were like, all my friends. So in order for you to cut something, let's say I want to cut like, right? And I'm cutting it, right? There will come moments where you will be weak, where you will be. So the first thing that you're going to do is like, yo, bro, where are you, right? And even if you are not weak, you are like, yo, bro, where are you? Oh, in your house? Okay, I'm coming. Boom. You go to your bro's house, and next thing you know, you relapsed, right? So you have to cut the bro. I'm sorry. So I was cutting off everyone in my mind, right? I said, like I have to become sober, right? But now, Annie, are you okay? She's sending me photographs of the weed she bought and all that stuff. And let's get high, baby, and all that stuff. And she's like, come to the Saloniki, and I'm like, and a part of me was like, and this song right here is like about me kind of being like, you know what, no, like I gotta like get, because if for once I was like, okay, let's go to here, right, then there will be twice, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, boom, 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 and you don't take your soberism seriously, right? So what I did was like I deleted my Facebook, right? I deleted everything. I changed my number. I tossed everything to the trash, right? And I created my imaginary prison for years and years ago, and years long, like. But so what, Annie? Let's play the song. Escape from my heartbreak until you came and saved me with your lips. That night I was dancing all alone on that dirty dance floor. I got myself catching feelings for you, and it was unreal when I kissed you, cause my body wasn't calling for it. Yeah, because I kissed you. Could look me in the eye and wake up my ecstatic feelings like it was my birthday. Remember when you asked me for my name? Lessons of sexology, I'd be happy to provide them to you, baby. But right now I am feeling like I'm lost in this dream of Californication. It has turned into an online ghost that is afraid of love. Find me a place to hide out. Dream of Californication, that I'm going like to California, Californication. Dream of Californication, Red Hot Chili Peppers. An online ghost. Because like we were talking like on Facebook, and she was sending me those photographs like of weed and all that stuff, right? And she was like the type of girl like who would get high and then like hard, you know what I mean? So so what made me like catch feelings, because I was catching feelings like for her, like I remember myself like feeling, oh wait, what, Annie, what the fuck? And the love of my life was like fading inside of me. Like up until that moment, like the love of my life was fading a lot. I was forgetting her a lot. I didn't want her anymore. Even though in the imaginary prison years later, then I was like keeping her alive, but I didn't wanna, in a way. I was pushing myself to do things that I didn't want, just because I was like in an inferior position, or maybe my mind at that time thought that I was like in an inferior position. And when I say inferior position, I mean like I was like stuck in a small town, far away from LA, no money, and even if I went like to America, like how the fuck, like, right? Because you need a lot. I was like 20, 21. You need a lot of time, man. Like, I started like very, very late music. You know, I should have started like 10 years old, 5 years old. Never mind. I don't wanna. I don't wanna open the trauma box. And about my father, like when I had the chance, like here in Greece, to study music when I was like 5 years old. There was like a Chinese lady here in Alexandria, and at the time she didn't have students, right? So she wanted like to create like a class. We're talking about years 98, no, 99, 2000, 2001, maybe 2002, but we're talking about those years. She just came in Alexandria. She opened a piano, guitar, flauta, whatever. I don't remember. Like, but she opened like a music school here in Alexandria, and she wanted like students. And at that time, the cousin of my godmother, right? She had a son, right? And at that time, I was befriending the son, and we were kind of friends, kids, you know what I mean? And he was like a student, like of the Chinese lady. But the Chinese lady, in order like to create, like a name in the town, in the beginning, she was like getting, she was getting students, like she wanted students, and she was willingly wanted to do pro bono, right? And he was telling me like, Costandina, Costa, just tell like to your dad, like, and all he had to do is like to come one day, and just to say like to the Chinese lady that like my son and whatever, just one day, like just to say like okay. And I asked my dad, man. I was like 5 years old, right? And my dad told me like, I said like the music school and to learn music and all that stuff. And he said to a 5-year-old, right? He told me this. He said, "What are you a FAG?" You know what I mean? I don't want to say the word because like the rainbow kids might take it as offensive and all that stuff, but that's how like he told me, right? In Albanian. And from that moment, right, whenever like I would watch like a singer, right, I was like a little kid, man. A singer like in the television, right? I would say, oh, he's like gay, right? I don't know, like I was like a kid, I didn't know what it was, but yeah, man, like so and then like when I was like 14 years old, a friend of mine, he had another friend, a gypsy friend, and I'll say why I say gypsy, a gypsy friend of his, and here in Greece, exceptional musician, exceptional voice, exceptional guitar skills, and he was playing like the acoustic guitar, right? And I'm like, dude, like, can you like help me? Me and my mom, we bought like a guitar, right? We bought a guitar, but my dad didn't know because like he was like in Albania at that time for Christmas, New Year's Eve, I don't remember. And we bought it, and I put it like in the closet, the acoustic guitar, right? And I was hiding it from my dad. And so my intention was like to learn guitar in the YouTube, but I couldn't because like I don't know, like I couldn't find the tutorials. I was finding a couple of tutorials I couldn't understand, and it was like, and then like I said like to this guy, like I'm going to pay you like with lessons, right? And with 7 lessons, I think 5 to 7 lessons, I started like playing like acoustic guitar, like songs. because I wanted like, and at that time I also wanted like to impress the love of my life, because like I said, like she was a classmate of mine, and she was like in quote unquote in love with a Greek singer, Michalis Hadjigiannis, right? The singer. He's basically like the John Mayer of Greece, something like that. Like that kind of style. And like I started like playing all his songs, but I wasn't singing at the time, right? Because like I didn't know how to sing. So never mind that story. Like I started late music, right? I started late. And even even at 15, 16, 17, how old I was, when I was like playing the acoustic guitar, I just played it a little bit, and then like I tossed it to the side, and I didn't have any intentions or something like that. I just knew how to play like chords, simple chords, simple triads. But my rhythm, and that's why a lot of people, they might say, oh, like Ronaldo like can play like great rhythm like in the guitar, like my rhythm is like extremely good. Even when I compared myself like with other guitarists who were like very good, like my rhythm was like very groovy. And it was because of that gypsy guy, right? Because the gypsies in general, they have like great rhythm, especially in the guitar. They know like how to dance, like with a guitar. Like especially if you listen like to the Gypsy Kings, volare, oh, cantare, oh. So yeah, right now I am at this moment when I'm like, Annie, are you okay? I'm sorry, baby, but I have to cut you off too, because yes, pussy, yes. Yes, her lips, yes, everything. But I had like to get sober, man, and I had to chase my dreams. Inside your imagination, I am feeling safe. Baby, forget about our dreams, let them fall apart. Cause you can do nothing but to crash. That's why I moved on up towards my destination. Thank you for the sweetest night of my life. Now that I'm feeling this romantic vibration, I'll confess to you that you are the best I'm confessing to you that you are the best I ever had. And also, I was catching feelings, right, for Annie, because she was sending me like songs. I was like, what are you listening? And up until that moment, Bertha didn't know how to listen to music. She was listening like trash music. The love of my life, she was listening. Never mind. And this girl, Annie, are you okay? I'm like, what are you listening? And I'm waiting right now, like, for her, like, to send me like a romantic song or something like that, or like something that says like, oh, I love you. And she's like, oh, right now, what I'm listening right now, this moment, I'm listening to this song. And she was listening to a hardcore Dutch hip hop kind of thing, like Blabbermouth. I don't know if you know Blabbermouth. I learned about Blabbermouth through Annie, Are You Okay? But the guy's like crazy lyricist. It was a Blabbermouth. He was like a guy like this, and it was like exceptional, man. I was like, wow, this girl has some taste. Like, it was like the first time I was meeting a hot, sexy girl that she was listening to hardcore hip hop, and she was also at that time like getting high. What is this? So yeah, man, it was like, Annie, Are You Okay? She was like something else, and I will tell you about that. Orange sunshine, 'cause I replaced it with neon lights that exist from the electronic waves of your whole love and emotion, baby. No, never meant to escape from my heartbreak until you came and saved me with your lips. That night I was heartbreak. I had a heartbreak from the love of my life, and we kissed that night, and everything changed, and I started like catching feelings for her. Dancing alone on that dirty dance floor, I got myself catching feelings for you, and it was unreal when I kissed you, cause my body wasn't calling for a girl who could look me in the eye and wake up. Orange sunshine, orange sunshine. I got my orange sunshine, I got it finally replaced. Orange sunshine, orange sunshine. I got my orange sunshine, I got it finally replaced. Baby, I'm missing you. I'm missing you. I'm missing you. I'm missing you. But there is more to life than getting high with you.
Even my brain does not display
The real. Baby, I don't want you, no, I don't want you, no. But there is more to life than getting high with you. And then, baby, I don't want you, like it was like the real. So it was a lie, basically, that I don't want you. But yeah. So Annie Ariwaki was like like a storm, like boom. But yeah, man. And then later, after years, like I create like some fake profile and all that stuff, and I stalked her, and I just wanted like to know like what is she doing and all that stuff. And guess what? Annie, are you okay? Left Greece, right? And she went an immigrant to Amsterdam. Duh. Right? To Amsterdam. So because like in Amsterdam it is legalized, right? And she started like working there and all that stuff. And yeah, man, I wish her the best. Like I wish her the best of the best, right? She was like the best girl. Annie, are you okay? So yeah, this was it. I'm talking about Annie for 36 minutes. What the fuck? So 37. So without any further ado, peace and love.